What's the funniest misunderstanding you've ever had with your dad? When I was 12, my father and I rarely spoke the same language, even though we both spoke English. He was a quiet man who worked long hours at his construction job, coming home with dust in his hair and calluses on his hands. I was a bookworm who got lost in fantasy worlds and dreamed of becoming a writer. Our conversations were usually short. How was school? Fine. Homework done? Yes, that was about it. One evening, I overheard Dad on the phone talking about a surprise project he was working on. He seemed excited, which was unusual for my stoic father. For days afterward, he disappeared into the garage after dinner. The sounds of sawing and hammering drifting through the house. When I asked Mom what he was doing, she just smiled and said, "Your father has his secrets." It felt strange. Dad had never been mysterious before. As my birthday approached, I convinced myself that Dad was building something amazing for me. Maybe a bookshelf for my growing collection? Or a desk where I could write my stories. I could hardly sleep with excitement. The night before my birthday, I snuck into the garage to peek but found nothing except Dad's regular tools and some wood scraps. My heart sank. I'd been wrong about the whole thing. On my birthday morning, Dad wasn't even home. Emergency at work, Mom explained as she handed me a small, wrapped package from him. Just a gift card to the bookstore. I tried to hide my disappointment, but the day felt hollow. Later that evening, Dad finally came home looking exhausted. "Get in the car," he said simply. "Need to show you something." We drove in silence to an unfamiliar neighborhood and parked. In front of a small, worn-down house, an elderly woman opened the door and hugged my father like an old friend. "This is Mrs. Chen," Dad explained, "my fifth-grade teacher." Inside, Dad led me to a room where a beautiful wooden ramp now, connected to the back door, with handrails and a gentle slope perfect for Mrs. Chen's wheelchair. In the corner sat a small desk with a reading lamp. "Your father built this all himself," Mrs. Chen said, squeezing my hand. "I've been stuck inside for months since my fall. Now I can sit in my garden again." Dad shrugged, embarrassed by the praise. "Emma, Mrs. Chen is the one who first told me I should encourage your writing. She did the same for me when I was your age." As we drove home, I asked why he hadn't told me about the project. "Some gifts aren't for birthdays," he said quietly. "They're for giving back to those who shaped us." He handed me a worn notebook. "I thought you might want to write about it." That night, I realized my father and I spoke the same language after all. It just wasn't made of words, but of actions that tell the stories we can't always say out loud.